Here's the garlic patch about last week of October. I tilled it probably a month ago just by hand, and you can see here and there where there's some weed garlic coming up. But I've got a neighbor bringing me some horse manure already composted so that I can till it in and hopefully add some more fertility to the soil, and we'll get it planted here before too long. Alright, it is first week of November. It's running a little late, but I wanted to wait for the composted manure, and it finally came, and it's tilled in using a magnificent old rototiller from I think the 60s or something. So here's the awesome old rototiller we used for the garlic garden this year. I picked it up for $20 at a yard sale. It's very old. As you can tell, there's not any plastic. Has a metal fuel tank and a metal fuel line and an oil bath air filter. It's Briggs & Stratton powered, but vertical shaft like on a lawnmower instead of horizontal shaft like you typically see. And I added a board along the walkway here because the composted manure added a substantial amount of height to the bed, which is a very good thing. So also decided to retire the old fence. It has served me a good 12 or more years at this point, so time for some fresh fencing. Alright, I'm breaking up the heads of garlic I saved for seed. And you can see I've got some really big ones and some not so big ones, but even the really big ones have a variety of cloves. If you look, some cloves are going to be pretty meaty and other cloves not so much, but so it's a smaller one. So it didn't have much room, so it's kind of thin. But and there's a big thick one. But I'm not going to separate out the little ones. It all came from a decent sized head of garlic. And with the fresh composted manure this year, I'm expecting to have a better growth than last year. Also, I've got some different garlic that a coworker gave me. This is elephant garlic. I got 3 cloves of that. And this is a soft neck garlic. So I'm going to try planting a little bit of different stuff this year, just see how it turns out. Alright, first rack is in. I put all the special soft neck garlic along the first couple rows here along this far edge, and the 3 elephant garlic down here at the corner, and filled the rest of the rack with my normal hard neck garlic. Alright, the garlic bed is planted. It is official. I did it carefully enough, and I didn't cover any up until I was done, so I could count the number of rows and columns. 360. I can fit 360 garlic in this bed. Alright, it is November 11th, Veterans Day here in the United States. And the garlic bed is complete. It is planted and covered with my patented alternating layers of pine needles and leaves. But this year I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna try sprinkling the roots and stalks from last year's harvest, which I saved to put over top of the leaves to hopefully keep the wind from blowing them away. I also did put new fencing around the garden. I ran out. I didn't have quite enough to do with all the new chicken wire, so I did repurpose one section of the old fencing, but it's still fine. It's not like the fencing is really preventing anything from getting in if it were determined to get in, so it's just really a discouragement and to make sure the kids don't ride dirt bikes and go-karts through the garden, right? Alright, the stalks and roots from last year's harvest have been spread over top of the leaves and pine needles, so it will hopefully keep that stuff from blowing away, and hopefully we'll have a really good harvest next year. It is December 29th, just before New Year's, and this is the garlic bed. I was getting a little concerned that maybe I put too much mulch on it because it went a little heavier this year, but success. If you look carefully, there's lots of little green sticking up. Alright, here's a little garlic update. It is middle of February 2024 here in Ohio, and we had a cold snap with some additional snow, but the garlic looks fine and happy. You can see how high it has come up now, and remember this was planted in November. The south side here, the snow has melted off, but tomorrow the weather is supposed to warm up and this will all be melted. And I'm sure the garlic is doing just fine, cozy in its little holes there. Expecting great things from you guys. Keep at it. Hey garlic growers, it is first week of March. We got a light snow, so I thought I'd come out and check on the garlic. You can see it all came up very well, just maybe a couple here and there that didn't grow, but I did discover a surprise. Something's been rooting around in the garlic bed a little bit, right in the middle. So looks like maybe a couple of the plants got damaged, and hopefully nothing too serious, and they didn't like what they found, so hopefully they don't come back. I don't think it was the cats, but I'm not really sure. I'll get a ground level here. Let's get a ground level view so you can see the plants are 5 to 6 inches tall. They seem to be growing really well. So have high hopes for a good harvest this year. Alright, here's a garlic growth update. This is the end of April 2024, and you can see the garlic is more or less fully grown. You can see some weed garlic growing outside the bed right here, where I must have accidentally moved some seed or some small cloves. Along the front edge here, these plants are smaller and different because those were the soft neck garlic and 3 elephant garlic that my coworker gave me. They were really tiny, so hopefully this year they grow big enough to be better seed for next year. And on the other side, where I just had a few spare cloves left over, I just stuck them in where there was some soft dirt exposed, so there's a few garlic there. And you can see another spot here outside the bed where some weed garlic has grown up. So there you go. April 2024, the garlic is looking magnificent. It is May 12th, and just when I thought the garlic couldn't get any bigger, it just keeps growing. This is probably the tallest and the thickest stalks I've seen, at least for my whole bed. I've had individual heads grow really strong, but this year is something else. The freshly applied fertilizer and the thick layer of mulch, maybe coupled with a mild winter, is really showing through in how well the garlic has grown this year. Hey fellow garlic growers and my Tularinos who happen to watch this. It is end of May, almost, and actually I think there's still about a week to go, but look at the scapes. They're up and ready to cut. Seems like probably better than half have their garlic scapes up, and I've got my helper, so we're gonna get them trimmed, and I'm gonna give them away to a local guy who sells the produce he produces in his garden, so that hopefully somebody will eat them. So I noticed since this year I've planted a couple different types, a little bit of different types that my coworker gave me. That must be the scape for an elephant garlic, because it's nothing like the other scapes that I typically get. And the soft neck garlic is supposed to not generate a scape, so that must be the flower for the elephant garlic. And I just wanted to point out over here there's also some different things growing here, but those are actually from an old onion that I never dug up. So an old onion was down there and it grew these shoots to make these flowers, or I think it's called bolting. But then right next to it is a really big garlic that has already a very big scape coming out of it. Alright, there's the first scape harvest. That should be most of them. Seems like it was an awful lot. And you know, I have to come back in a few days and trim off the ones I missed or the ones that haven't come up yet. So that's the hard part of harvesting garlic. You have to go through and cut off the scapes. Well, here we are at the end of June, and the garlic is almost ready to pick. I haven't been down here in a couple weeks. I was on vacation for 10 days. And you can see 2 of the scapes that I missed from the garlic have gone way taller than the garlic. I mean, the tallest one is probably a little bit taller than me. And I have seen online where someone says when those things open, that's how you can tell the rest of the garlic is ready to pick. Now, I've usually just gone by the brownness of the leaves, and when a couple of the leaves on the bottom were completely brown, that's when I decided it was time. And it looks like we're at 3 or 4 already, so this garlic is ready to pick from my perspective. So sometime this week, or certainly by this weekend, I will get it harvested. This is the harvest for 2024. I've got 3 20-foot long 2x4s left over from the deck laid out on this little boat trailer. And so you can see how the heads are staggered, and it uses the whole trailer with a few lying on top, and the soft neck garlic experiment also on top. And it was a pretty good haul. I would say this is my best year yet. The heads have a pretty even size, evenly pretty good, and there are some really good sized ones mixed in there. So there's also 3 elephant garlic mixed in here that I'm not sure which ones they are. My son and his friend helped me harvest, and they got started before I could be down here, and they'd already harvested the initial area, and I'm not sure where the elephant garlic ended up. So it was only 3, and I was hoping when I clean them up I'll be able to tell which ones were the elephant garlic, but I'm not really sure because I've never grown it before, and I don't know if it would really look any different other than just being a bigger head, which there are several, so maybe those are them. Alright, so I'm going to do something a little different with the garlic this year. Normally I cure it on the back porch, but that has had mixed results because the porch is partially enclosed and it doesn't have very good airflow. So I'm going to try something different this year, also because I don't think my family would appreciate having almost 400 head of garlic hanging around on the back porch. So this year I'm going to try to put it up under the roof area of this covered swing. Alright, so this is the next day. The garlic is all up there. I could not film it the day of because it got too dark. The ropes seem to be working okay, though the front rope, which had a lot of weight on it from the garlic heads, was hanging pretty low. So I did prop it up with a stick to try to keep the garlic a little higher up under the roof. We did have rain today, so I don't think the garlic got wet up there, but certainly not underneath here. Oh, there's Leo. He likes to swing. But the good part is I can still swing with garlic above me. Hey, and you can see if I reach up with my hand, I still can't quite touch the garlic, so it's pretty far up. So there's an interesting view. Swinging under garlic. I suppose that makes me safe from vampire attack. Hello garlic growers or garlic enthusiasts, if there are such people out there. This is my haul, my harvest for 2024. This is one box. This is another box. This is another box. And this is the box I started to separate for seed. So you try to pick heads with the biggest cloves in them for seed, but I also specifically like to pick out any damaged heads. If there's something about it that has a little damage, so you know it's not going to keep as well, then I tend to put that in here for seed. I always put some of the littlest heads in there that I know will just be too much of a pain to use in the kitchen. And I always plant some of those little ones too. Though this past year they ended up mixed in with everything else and they got overshadowed by the larger plants. So I think next year I will specifically plant the smaller cloves on the south side, so that from my latitude those ones will get the first crack at the sun, and even if they are smaller plants, the bigger ones will be behind them, and the smaller ones will get as much chance to grow as big and strong as possible and start being big boy garlic. And there's Coco. Hey, Coco. Oh, Coco, knock it off. Nobody wants to hear your barking or see your fuzzy butt. So I did have some other garlic that I grew as an experiment. My coworker gave me some soft neck garlic and some elephant garlic. And I know this is the soft neck garlic because it doesn't have a stick, you know, in the center, and it doesn't grow the flower. I'm not sure about the elephant. This is, one, it's gigantic, and two, I noticed it has some cloves wrapped in different layers of the leaves that the other ones are not. And so I've never seen that with the regular hardneck garlic that I grow. So I'm sure that's elephant, and that makes me sure this one's elephant. But these other three, I'm not so sure of. This looks like my regular hardneck garlic, so it probably is. These ones, they all seem to lose their paper worse than the rest of the garlic, which suggests they should have been harvested sooner, as should the soft neck garlic. I harvested everything at the same time. We had gone on vacation, and when we got back, everything was ready to pick. And honestly, I couldn't even see the tops of the soft neck garlic anymore. I'm sure they were there, you know, just lying down brown. But anyway, so I need to go back and review my footage of when I planted to see did I have 3 or 4 heads of elephant garlic, so that I can figure out which ones these are. I'm pretty sure this one is actually just the regular, but it also had sort of the paper decay, which made me think maybe it was the elephant. But I'll go back and review my footage and see how many there were, and then determine which ones of those are the elephant for sure, so that I can plant them in a separate bed this coming fall. I'm going to make a separate little bed for the elephant and the soft neck, because I won't have any trouble telling those two apart, right? And then the main bed will be just for the hardneck garlic that I usually grow. And in case anyone's curious, this is the leftovers from last year. You know, we tend to eat the bigger heads first and leave the smaller ones in the box. And you see they're still usable garlic, but you can see they're starting to want to grow. So there's some root action starting out of the cloves. And you can still eat the garlic, but it'll have a little bit of a green center. And yeah, see, here you go. It's trying to grow in the box. So I have planted year-old garlic before, where in one of my previous videos I show, you know, it did grow. If this was all you had, you could plant this and get usable garlic the next year. It generally will not perform as well as that, so you might need a rebuilding year. If you miss a year and you just want to keep growing the garlic you've been, you could certainly plant these in the fall, and you will get garlic the next year. So, but that's what it looks like, right? So at this point, I was just cooking like last week, and I used up some of this garlic, and so it is still usable. And you know, that's how having your own garlic at home is like, because now that this is cured, I can just start using the fresh stuff and enjoying good garlic. Alright, well, if you made it this far, thanks for watching the video. If you are going to try growing garlic yourself, good luck to you. And if you have any helpful comments, please feel free to share them. If you think I have said or am doing something wrong that would improve what I'm doing, please also let me know in the comments. I am not an expert. I am just a hobby garlic grower for about 20 years, and I just slowly improve every year, and this is what I'm up to. I like it. I hope you liked it, and thanks for watching. Right, Coco? You like garlic? Of course I do. Mmm, garlic. Ah! Alright, be a good boy. Say bye-bye. Try to zoom in on him. There, now he's farther away. The clouds look pretty cool. Very nice. Yeah, it's coming right for me. Ah! Ow. Hey. Not so rough.